What's up, fam? This is Olivia from the Wonderless Wealth Show, and today I am going to share with you everything that I write off as a real estate investor and a content creator slash business owner. Now, one of the biggest perks about being a real estate investor and a business owner is taxes, because the tax code in the US was literally written for investors and for business owners. So there are just so many different things that you can write off. However, a big part of real estate investing and entrepreneurship in general that most people mess up, especially at the beginning, is keeping your finances organized so that when tax season rolls around, you're not scrambling. Which is why this video is sponsored by Relay, a business banking and money management platform that helps entrepreneurs stay organized throughout the year. But we'll get into that more later. So today we're going to be focusing on both my real estate investing business as well as my content creation slash coaching business, because they all really go hand in hand, and my whole ethos is that I've really designed my business around my life. That way, basically, a large portion of my life is a tax write-off. Now, let's first start off with the tax write-offs for real estate investing. One of the first things that you can write off are utilities. That means your electricity, your water, your gas, your trash services, all of that, those are tax write-offs for your rental properties. And on top of that, you've got your cleaning and your maintenance fees. So anything from pest control to snow removal to hot tub maintenance, landscaping, cleaning fees. I also house hack, which is where you live in a property and then you rent out other portions of the property so that you can ideally lower your living expenses and even better live for free, which is something that I've been doing for years now. The very first property that I purchased was a duplex, and the cool thing is that even though the whole thing was technically my primary residence, because I was renting out a whole unit, that whole side, that's a tax write-off. All the utilities for that side is a tax write-off, and everything for that side really ends up being a tax write-off. Now, in your rental properties, if you're doing something like a short-term or a mid-term rental, they're going to be furnished, right? So all of that furniture is also a tax write-off. Your couches, your beds, your rugs, all of it. And then on top of that, any consumables, right? Because if you're doing something like a short-term rental, you're providing things like coffee, shower gel, shampoo, conditioner. All of these things are tax write-offs. And then any repairs to the property. If something breaks, that ends up being a tax write-off to get fixed. Mortgage interest is a tax write-off. Property taxes are a tax write-off. Insurance is a tax write-off. And then depreciation, you can actually depreciate your rental properties over 27 and a half years. Now, I personally don't have any HOA fees because none of my properties are in HOAs. But if you own a property that's in a HOA and it's a rental property, that is also a tax write-off. Any renovations to the property, that's a tax write-off. If you want to go and renovate a bathroom, or if you want to go and renovate the kitchen, or if you want to go paint the room, that's all a tax write-off. If you have a property manager, those property management fees, that's a tax write-off. And so is any advertising or any marketing. Let's say you have to get professional photos taken, or if you're listing on Zillow and using Zillow Premium, that's a tax write-off. Or maybe you want to build out a direct booking website. That is a tax write-off. If you have any bank fees or if you're getting any business loans, that is also a tax write-off. And then on top of that, any softwares that you use. For example, I use Monday.com for any project management in my real estate business. So that is a tax write-off. So is Avail, which is what I use to manage my tenants and manage my leases and do tenant screening. The premium version of that, that is a tax write-off. Or if you use QuickBooks for your bookkeeping, that's a tax write-off too. And then also if you have any real estate education like books, or if you join a membership, or if you join a coaching program, that is also a tax write-off. For example, my signature coaching program, Wonderless Wealth Academy, that's a tax write-off. Now, when I first got started as a real estate investor and an entrepreneur, I had no idea what I was doing. And I literally knew nothing about taxes. I basically went from a W-2 employee where everything was super simple, where I could just go on TurboTax, click a few buttons and be done, to now becoming a full-time entrepreneur and business owner and real estate investor. Child, when I say that first year of doing my taxes, I wanted to pull my hair out. And it wasn't until I got Relay that my life completely changed. Now, Relay is an online business banking and money management platform that helps businesses take control of their cash flow and get crystal clear on what they're earning, spending, and saving. So with Relay, I can separate everything out: my taxes, my operating expenses, my savings, all into their own separate accounts, but within one entity. Now, do not even get me started about how confusing it gets when you have multiple different entities and you have them in different business banking accounts, and it's so confusing and you have all these logins. I have multiple properties and different LLCs, and then I have my coaching business and my content creation business all under different LLCs. But the cool thing about Relay is that it's all under one login. And then each of the properties have their own separate expense account, savings account, taxes account. And there are no account fees, no overdraft fees, and no minimum balances. Oh, and on top of that, you can open up to 50 Visa business debit cards. So for example, one of my properties, my cleaner, she has a debit card for any of those last minute things that need to be purchased, and she doesn't have to bug me for it. We've got a spending limit put in place so that they can handle it. And the other cool thing about Relay is that for taxes, it actually syncs with QuickBooks and with Xero. That way you can speed up your bookkeeping process. Honestly, I truly don't know where I'd be without Relay. I'd probably still be pulling my hair out today. So huge shout out to Relay for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out the link below to sign up. When you get signed up and make a deposit, you'll actually get a free $50. And who doesn't like free money? Now, let's get into the content creator coaching business and the tax write-offs for that. So things I get to write off there are my phone bill, my internet bill. I actually am able to write off a percentage of that towards the business, since most of my phone is being used for business, and same thing goes with my internet. Any gear gets to be written off, like this camera that I'm recording this video with, this microphone, lights, my laptop, my lenses. I recently just purchased the new iPhone 16. That ends up being a write-off. Any subscriptions or app, like for example, for my coaching, I use Kajabi, Adobe Lightroom for any of my photo editing, Adobe Premiere Pro for my video editing, CapCut. Canva ends up being a write-off, and even my web design, that's a write-off. Any educational resources, like any courses or coaching. I recently just hired a coach. That is a tax write-off. Any of your legal services, your tax preparations, or your bookkeeping services. Now, this cute little home office of mine, that's a tax write-off, because if you work from home and you have something like a home office, that actually is a tax write-off. You can deduct a portion of your own personal house as a tax write-off. So for example, this desk, this chair, my monitor, those are all tax write-offs. This wallpaper back here, that's a tax write-off. Any clothes where if it's for a specific event that I am actually presenting at, or any branding shoots, those are tax write-offs. If I'm going to any event, like my event tickets, those are gonna be tax write-offs. My membership club, I have a co-working membership club that I go to. That's a tax write-off too. And then especially as a content creator, because once again, like I said at the beginning, I have really designed my business around my life so that almost my entire life ends up being a tax write-off. All of my business trips, those end up being tax write-off too. So in the traditional sense, anything from like a conference to a retreat to a meetup to visiting properties, those are all obviously tax write-offs. But on top of that, because I'm a travel content creator as well, and travel is such a big part of my brand and my content, I'm always filming YouTube videos in different places for Instagram videos. A lot of my travel also ends up being a business expense. So any of my Airbnbs or my hotel stays or my Ubers or the food that I'm eating while I'm traveling, my car rentals, my plane tickets, all of those are tax write-offs. So I know that tax season is right around the corner, so I hope that this video was incredibly helpful for you to make sure that you're getting all of your tax write-offs. Now, make sure to talk to a CPA so that they can look at your specific situation and make sure that you're getting all of the deductions that you can. Because I'm not a CPA, and you want to talk to someone who can actually cater towards your specific needs. And once again, thank you to Relay for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out the link below and get signed up so that you can get your free $50. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.